The studio lights were blinding, almost unreal, like a controlled storm frozen in glass and metal. Everything in the set of The Kelly Clarkson Show was designed to feel warm and friendly. But today the atmosphere felt slightly different, tense in a way no one could fully explain. Emma Thompson sat on the guest sofa, composed at first glance, hands folded neatly in her lap. Her expression was calm, practiced, the kind of calm that came from decades of interviews, premieres, award ceremonies, and red carpets. But behind her eyes, there was a sharp awareness. Something was not going according to the usual rhythm. Kelly Clarkson entered with her signature energy, smiling brightly, greeting the audience, and taking her seat opposite Emma. The applause faded slowly, replaced by that soft hum of anticipation that always comes right before a conversation turns real. At first, everything flowed normally. Light jokes, compliments about Emma's career, a brief discussion about her latest fictional film role, where she played a morally complex judge. Emma responded with elegance, her British humor landing perfectly. The audience laughed. Kelly laughed too. But then the tone shifted. Kelly leaned forward slightly, flipping through her notes, and asked a question that wasn't on the usual promotional checklist. Emma, in past interviews, you've been very outspoken about Hollywood's treatment of older actresses. Some people online say you're too harsh, that you exaggerate the problem for attention. How do you respond to that? There was a brief silence. Emma blinked once, slowly, not offended yet, but alert. That's an interesting way to phrase it, she said carefully, maintaining a soft smile. I would say I speak from experience, not exaggeration. The audience chuckled lightly, sensing tension but not fully understanding it. Kelly continued gently but persistently. But do you think sometimes that narrative might overshadow your work? That people focus more on your criticism than your performances? Emma's smile faded just a fraction. No, she replied. I think people are perfectly capable of separating commentary from craft. A pause. Something in the air shifted. Kelly nodded, but then came the moment that changed everything. I also want to ask about an interview you did years ago, Kelly said, glancing at her notes. You said some pretty strong things about certain directors in the industry. Some of them called your comments unfair and even damaging. The word damaging hung in the air like a dropped glass. Emma leaned back slightly. Her fingers tightened together, barely noticeable. I stand by what I said, she answered calmly. If the truth is damaging, that says more about the system than about the person speaking it. The audience reacted with a mix of applause and nervous laughter. But Kelly didn't stop. Some critics say that attitude can come off as entitled, she added softly, especially coming from someone with your level of success. For the first time, Emma's expression changed. Not anger yet, but something sharper. A flicker of disbelief. Entitled? She repeated, her voice quieter now. The studio felt colder. Kelly tried to soften it quickly. I'm just sharing what people online say. But Emma raised her hand slightly, stopping her mid-sentence. Not rudely, but firmly. No, Emma said, leaning forward now. Let's not hide behind people online. If we're going to say something, let's own it. The audience went quiet. Even the laughter had disappeared. Emma continued, her voice still controlled, but now carrying weight. I've worked in this industry for decades. I've seen brilliant women pushed aside, erased, or reduced to stereotypes because they aged past a certain number. If pointing that out is considered entitlement, then perhaps we need to redefine what that word means. Kelly nodded, but there was a visible tension in her posture now. The friendly rhythm of the show had cracked. I understand that, Kelly said carefully. But do you think there's a way to say it that doesn't create division? That was the moment. Emma paused. A long pause. She looked at Kelly, not at the audience, not at the cameras, directly at her. And something shifted inside her expression. It's interesting, Emma said slowly, because when men speak with conviction, it's called leadership. When women speak with conviction, it's called division. The audience reacted. Some applause, some murmurs. But Kelly's face tightened slightly. The interview was slipping out of controlled territory. I don't think that's fair, Kelly responded. Emma nodded once. Neither is being asked to soften the truth until it becomes unrecognizable. Silence again. The energy in the studio had changed completely now. What started as a light promotional interview had turned into something raw, almost confrontational. Kelly tried to regain balance. "I respect your perspective," she said. "I really do. I just think sometimes these conversations get heated online, and people take sides." Emma interrupted gently but firmly. "Because truth makes people uncomfortable." The words landed heavily. A beat passed. Then Kelly asked one final question, and it was the one that broke everything open. "Do you ever worry that your honesty might be hurting your legacy?" That was it. Emma didn't respond immediately. She looked down for a moment, exhaled slowly, then looked back up. And the calm was gone. "I find it fascinating," she said, voice tightening slightly, "that a woman has to choose between honesty and legacy, as if speaking truth diminishes what she has built." Her tone sharpened. "I've built my career on storytelling, not silence, and I will not be cornered into rewriting my voice to make it more comfortable for others." The audience gasped softly. The tension was now undeniable. Kelly tried to step in. "That's not what I meant." But Emma was already in motion emotionally, her composure breaking through layers of restraint. "You invited me here," she said, gesturing slightly, "to talk about my work, not to interrogate whether I should have opinions about the industry I've lived in for 40 years. The word interrogate echoed louder than intended. The studio went dead quiet. Kelly blinked, clearly surprised by the escalation. "Emma, I'm not attacking you." But Emma leaned forward slightly now, her voice firm, controlled but burning underneath. "It feels like it." A long silence followed. The audience didn't know whether to react or freeze. Then something unexpected happened. Emma suddenly exhaled, looked away from Kelly, and shook her head slightly. "I think this conversation has moved away from what it was supposed to be," she said, her tone calmer again, but distant now. Kelly nodded slowly, unsure how to recover. A producer signaled from off-camera. The energy in the studio was now officially off-script. Emma stood up. Not dramatically, but decisively. She adjusted her jacket, looked at Kelly one last time, and said quietly, "I came here to celebrate my work, not defend my right to speak about it." Then she turned toward the audience. "Thank you," she added politely, the professional mask returning for a moment. And she walked off the set. The cameras kept rolling, but no one spoke. Kelly remained seated, blinking slightly, processing what had just happened. The audience was frozen in a strange mix of shock and confusion. Backstage, Emma didn't rage, didn't shout. She simply stopped walking for a moment, placed a hand on a table, and exhaled deeply, like someone releasing pressure from years of holding back. A producer approached carefully. "Are you okay?" Emma nodded once. "Yes," she said quietly. But that wasn't an interview. That was a trap dressed as a conversation. Then she straightened up, composed herself again, and walked away. Outside, the world would soon replay the moment in clips. Headlines and debates, some calling it powerful, others calling it uncomfortable, others calling it a misunderstanding. But inside that studio, what truly happened was simpler. Two voices collided in a space that wasn't ready, for both truth and comfort at the same time. And only one of them chose to walk away unchanged.